For Monday, June 29th, call to order at 6:40 p.m. First item of business I'd like to jump to is the review and potential vote on the wheeled excavator procurement. Glenn, if you're good, come on up. And release you back to vacation.
Evening. It's okay. So the last time we met, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just looking over. Ready for what you have to share.
So the last time we met, we had a proposal from Tri-County for the wheeled excavator with some attachments. Not all the attachments that we originally spoke to you all about in capital and finance at the time of it, because between the time that we met and then annual town meeting, the program of the 0% all fell off, and then it went to a combined percentage APR for all the attachments. So when I presented that, because it wasn't all the original equipments, it asked me to go back and find some new numbers, and the math was not mathing on that proposal. I'd went away on vacation, so the service manager, sales manager, asked Brian to contact him and go over things a little better and explain things a little bit differently. So I have the original proposal that was over budget from the annual town meetings appropriation. And then we have the one from on the 2nd or 14th that has the pieces missing out of it to get it under to the budget part of it. They do not have that one?
They have the newest one that came from June 16th.
Okay,
And the other ones we had in our last packet, right?
correct.
So there is one more. Remember, I was telling you he gave out another date. I just checked my messages one more time. There's a June 2nd date. Does that sound familiar? One of your renditions?
Yes, that's the one that I have here.
Okay. Not this June 4th one.
I wrote the wrong date on it.
Okay.
Did I write June 2nd, June 4th on that one?
No, this one's the one that doesn't include the jawbone bucket.
Correct. Is that highlighted yellow?
No. I just want to make sure they have the right one in front of them.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys are good. Make sure we got it right.
This is the one that includes it, but does not have the mower.
This is the one I was making sure. I wanted to make sure the board had. Okay, as long as they have that one.
Let me make some copies.
I just printed some off in case. Let me give them to him. Apparently, there were many versions of this quote.
Only a couple.
Only a couple.
Jeez.
So while he's doing that, the one that is in your packet is the one that you asked for. That was the whole what had originally gone to capital, been recommended prior to the finance charges changing in the contract.
Thanks, sir. So June 2nd is the right one. June 16th is the right one.
These two are comparables.
Okay.
Yes.
And whatever the fourth was, I don't need to worry about.
The fourth, I believe, is the one you had at your last meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
So now you've had 3 to look at.
Got it. All right.
So the option was to take out the mower head and the asphalt cutter to get us under what the annual town meeting appropriated for the yearly cost. It said they can just be bought separately. With that being said, we're level funded, so there was not going to be any money to purchase this. And this is the roadside mower piece of it that is what pushed this whole piece of equipment. So I could not see bringing this one to you also, with not having a piece that was voted on to have, and then not be able to purchase it afterwards.
Are you talking about the second?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything that's highlighted in yellow is what's included in all these. So we would have to come up with 10, 11, 12, about 12,000 and change off of the June 2nd one to make it work under budget for the payment. Because we would have to buy the mower head, and we would have to buy the asphalt cutter separately.
Right.
So what is that, about 12.8?
Yeah,
You're adding to that 233? Is that what you're saying?
correct.
Okay. It's about 246, just shy.
Refresh my memory, what was the appropriated number?
49,750, I think, was the yearly payment.
I say, so it's not technically about the appropriation in this sense, because it was an authorization for you to lease up to, and that was 49,420, I believe.
420 or 750?
Double check one more time.
Ish.
That will
Ish.
be scrolling. This is a max of 49,420 per year.
Okay.
And just to be clear, the package price is before financing?
Yes.
Okay. I will let you continue on unless others have questions before we talk about the 16th, because I'm not going to try to figure out if that made sense in math yet until we hear what else you have to say. Personally, if you guys want to. Or do you want to just hear about the 16th now?
Let's keep talking. So I'm trying to math at the same time. but
Well, if you want to take a minute, that's fine. That's why I asked,
I'm
because
good.
it's up to you.
Looks like
Oh, and you would ask for a breakdown on the financing rates, and that is on the newest, the June 16th document.
And that's consistent between them, right? The yellow is what's included,
Correct. In each one of the
Except-
proposals.
except on June 16th, they've got pricing on the actual excavator and attachments not highlighted,
So,
but they're part of the 204, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yes, the 169, and then the
34.9.
then the steel was 34. That's the 204, 484.
Maybe I didn't. Did I understand originally that the some of these attachments were whacker or no? I thought the 34 was. Is it or
No,
no?
it's just the machine.
Just the machine?
Yep.
Okay. I thought one of the attachments was last time. Maybe I misunderstood. So we're about 2,600, 2,700 over monthly?
Yeah.
I mean annually?
Annually.
No, monthly.
Just, there isn't some place, I know the appropriation.
Is the math mathing now?
Yeah, no, so I know what
Excuse me.
vote said, and we're off 2,700.
So I have a two-part question, probably. The authorization was for an appropriation and a 5-year lease.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't go over either one of those, can we? In the lease.
Correct.
So even if we want to spend more, we can't.
You
Because
can't
the
leave-
5-year agreement is only for up to that much money
Correct.
on the lease. We
Correct.
could buy something separately, but we can't lease
That's correct.
above that amount.
That's correct.
Did you follow that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make sure my head was wrapped around that right. Which like brings us back
So,
to
yeah,
June
your
2nd.
two-part question was the same as mine.
I think it was only really one in the end, but it's two parts to. Are they both bound by the same? Did the math? I didn't math it yet. The lease math make more sense than it did before.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
So if we were to go back to the June 2nd one, with the mower head out of it and the asphalt cutter piece out of it, we're under budget, we're under the appropriation for the lease. If we were to, had to purchase the other two lines separately, would you all be willing to do it out of the highway improvement line?
You have money?
We do. It's a special appropriation line. It's the one that would just, that you authorize to take money out for the ADA improvements for Zelinski Field.
I would think that'd be something to bring to Capital and talk to them about first, but I'm not. I don't. Well, let me back up. If we did that,
If we did that, then it would be at the 49,184 annually.
because this one doesn't have the other bucket. This one
Correct.
has the original bucket that we had scoped,
Correct.
not the mower attachment.
Yep.
What was the lead time on that component? Do we know?
Everything's like 4 to 6 weeks.
And when do you want to be using that attachment?
September.
Okay. We have a few weeks to pull together a meeting.
I mean, and the other part of it too is once we get it, it can be used, you know, in any time frame after September. Typically, we use the machine for the month in September. If we know this is coming, we just let residents know pieces are on its way and we'll get to it, you know, as soon as everything comes in. But typically mowing is September.
Right.
so this other line item you mentioned was specifically for ADA upgrades?
No,
Or-
you had all authorized us to take 49 something thousand out of that,
Correct.
to do the ADA upgrades up at Zelinski Field for the walkways, the paving,
Parking spaces.
parking
yeah.
spaces.
But these attachments that we would buy utilizing that money could be used
Yes, sir.
for projects that that line item was earmarked for.
Absolutely.
And it's already approved, and I mean, just so I can understand that your thought behind capital ahead of time is because they authorized it and we're thinking there's something else, or
Oh, because it's spending more than they had recommended on a capital purchase, and the individual purchase exceeds the capital threshold as well, just for the mower and teeth. So that's why I was thinking just to bring it by. I think they would want to, but I am a member. I'm not going to speak for
No,
the membership.
Understood. I'm just
But yeah, no, I think they would. I think that'd also be good to know that that's happening and weigh in. I have a feeling that they would probably lean the exact same way we've been talking for the last 2 weeks. So,
Can I ask how useful this piece of equipment is without those specific attachments?
It's not for mowing. It's another digging machine is what it is without that attachment.
and flip to the other proposal, it was a mowing machine without a versatile digging attachment that we would then buy later
Correct.
and waste $2,500 plus interest on, right? Effectively.
Yep.
When is capital meeting?
When do we tell them they need to meet by?
Well, I've requested the meeting for July 16th. I haven't gotten a confirmation yet. But
Okay. We could also see if they could come on the 13th for a joint meeting for a few minutes to talk about it too.
I was going to make that request as well.
You were?
Yes.
For other things?
End of the year financial.
Oh, for
Closets.
all groups anyway? Yeah,
Right.
okay. So then why don't we, I think we should make a decision on, well, what was the difference on the numbers on June 4th? Except it had the bucket we don't need or don't want to buy.
On which one?
The 4th, the one that had the fixed bucket, had the mower, but also had a fixed bucket.
That was 48, 128, or 182, excuse me.
Yes.
Got it. I mean, I'm one voice. You guys speak up. I don't know
So-
what you think.
I don't want to slow the process down, but I would clearly be in favor of removing two of the items and going back to capital and planning on a special town meeting. That would be my choice of
And not
resolving.
use it out of the special appropriation?
That's correct.
Okay.
Do we have that earmarked for anything else currently? That special appropriation? Okay.
So I would be willing to utilize the special, that appropriation as long as there was sufficient funds to cover anything else that you needed to do. But I
We have-
also, I agree with your thought on making sure capital is understanding of it and on board as well, so I don't want to belabor it, but it's 2 weeks to do what I think is doing it the right way.
We tend to agree. Is there an expiration on this?
30 days or 60.
60.
Oh, from the big
From-
print at the bottom? Jeez. I usually ignore that and look for the fine print.
Yeah, right.
Clearly. From
Maybe a lot of
16th,
their maybe a
second?
lot of their customers have too, and now that's why it's bold.
Oh, this
So we
line
missed it.
down here,
Jinx. Ditto. So the quote will still be good. I don't want to hold up the lease either, but I don't necessarily want to move forward with the lease until we're sure we're buying the mower, or move forward with the other lease, not expecting to buy the bucket, because I don't want to buy both
I understand.
unnecessarily, and I don't want to hold it up, but I don't want to buy a mower without the mower deck, and then decide we don't buy the mower deck, because that would not really make sense. So
Correct.
13th,
July 13th.
okay, we'll do a joint meeting and we'll put that on there for that as well. So
And come with the 3 options with them also? Or
I appreciate the 16th, but I don't, unless we're going to go, you should bring it, because I guess if
Yeah.
we would go back to town meeting, that's another option, but that's the least expeditious option of the 3,
I agree.
is to go back and get a larger authorization
Mhm.
with a transfer from some funding we already have, capital or otherwise. Okay,
July 13th.
July 13th. We'll provide all 3 for capital to review, and I think the explanation was clearer. I'm not sure about the blended rate, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I don't know where you got to on that, but it's probably here nor there at this point. Okay.
Okay. See you July 13th.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You
Yes,
too.
sir.
All right. Where do we want to jump to next?
We have Pete here today to talk about the Erving Center,
Mhm.
and we have Superintendent White Cleveland here to talk about the MSBA.
Okay.
And Thomas is also here to talk about some facilities items.
Okay. Well, why don't we jump down to discussion regarding pursuing state revolving loan fund for Erving Center wastewater treatment plant clarifier project. Pete, come on up.
So Pete's coming up. There were some documents I forwarded to you this afternoon regarding the SRF fund from DEP.
This afternoon.
Correct. So the last time we applied, was that 21 maybe, 2020?
2020, 21,
It's been
yeah.
a while. So the SRF is the State Revolving Loan Fund. It is a opportunity that DEP manages to help communities finance water and wastewater projects at an advantageous interest rate. So in the document I sent, it included an email from a gentleman, Greg Devine from DEP, who oversees that program, or is one of the people who oversees it. Not only is there a beneficial interest rate at 2% approximately, but there's also some principal forgiveness for eligible projects that are accepted into the program. It's highly competitive. There are always more requests than they can fund. So it's something that we would have to go through that competitive review and application process. And the first step would be to submit an expression of interest, which is due this summer, which is the reason that we want to make you aware of it and see if it's something that you even want to explore. The last time I received this funding was, I think, Plant 1's upgrade in 2009.
2009, right.
Peter, what was our last PFAS?
PFAS?
Yeah, PFAS. score
For,
for Irving,
at,
treatment one?
at treatment one,
Yep.
at treatment one, we have, some detection in our, effluent, but none in our sludge, and none in our influent. It's like it's a weird thing that's happening at multiple wastewater plants. We don't know where it's coming from.
It's not traced on the inbound, it's traced on outbound.
Yeah, we have never had it, there's been no detection on our influent coming in. We've had no detection on our sludge going out, but on our sludge as far as disposal, and on our effluent going out, we've always had one detection of one of the 6 PFAS. And it's not just our plants, it's Montague has it, Greenfield has it. It's nobody knows where it's coming from. And as far as that POTW number 2, we just went, it's a whole nother thing that I got to go over with Brian, our EPA audit for the pretreatment program. We have to start testing PFAS there at their outfall at the mill itself. So we'll have numbers for that once they start doing that. At the plant itself, they've had nothing on their influent, nothing on their biosludge they haul out, but on their effluent, they also have a slight detection of one of the PFAS 6.
Same one in all these scenarios that's being detected?
Most of them, yes, from all the other plants around us in our area.
Where do we have to start testing that we aren't?
Excuse me?
Did you say we have to start testing as part of our pre-treatment at the out?
At the outfall at the mill itself,
So-
not at the wastewater.
Okay. So the other end of the pipe
Yes.
for the inflow
Yes.
from them?
Yes.
All right.
Noted there, it is recorded. It's nothing that's enforceable yet. I don't know if they're ever going to lower the limits or raise the limits. Right now, under the 20 parts per trillion, we're under that, but it's still a detection.
Just a follow-up question, it might not be part of the PFAS, but on the second page, there's a section about lead service lines, and I thought a while back we had a discussion about some of the lines being lead.
So what's confusing about this, what they're listing here on this attachment that we've gotten to the email, is they're also talking about drinking water. So the lead service line thing with drinking water, as far as us pursuing this SRF grant for POTW number 2, and correct me if I'm wrong,
No,
Brian.
you're correct.
We're looking at it as another source where we could have a potential emergency if that fails, why we need to do this for the clarifier. This with the paperwork that you're looking at now, the attachment to the email, it's a little confusing because it talks about the PFAS with the PFAS removal, doing upgrades to do that. They're talking about the lead service line. They're also talking about sanitary sewer overflows, combined sewer overflows, CSOs. We wouldn't be falling under any of that for this SRF loan.
Yeah, you
So
all
those
have
are
done.
all the potential
Those are
eligible
potentials.
types of projects, but it's not
Yes.
everything we're applying for.
Most of it
obviously.
listed here is more drinking water kind
Okay.
of stuff. It's for the sewer, it's just CSOs and SSOs for the wastewater side. But we're looking at all sorts of avenues to utilize the SRF program.
And Greg was
What
kind
is-
enough to list out multiple opportunities.
Right.
But specifically for tonight, the question was more about, do you even want to pursue the option under the SRF because it's once a year?
Right.
If we forgo this opportunity, we'll have to wait another year if you want to explore it next year.
SSO?
Excuse me?
SSO?
Yes, sanitary sewer overflow.
Okay. And
And
combined.
CSO's combined sewer overflow.
And it says there's
Our
a grant
combined
opportunity.
sewer outfall, sorry.
Outfall.
Yes.
Okay. And outfall on the other one too?
Nope, it's
Okay.
overflow.
That's overflow. All right.
Correct.
So in the email, it said that it seems to fall a little beyond the immediate scope. Was that related to us? He said that in the email, Greg?
The way I understood it, I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it. He knows what we're looking for, because we had the conversation with him. We don't really fall in the scopes of those listed things.
On some of them, correct.
Okay.
I think he was trying to give us the greatest range of potential funding opportunities to explore,
Okay.
to make sure that they were all sort of at our disposal, and then was kind enough to go a little bit in depth as to this is where Erving would rank on this, or this is what you're eligible for here, this really doesn't match your scope. So he was trying to offer a little more guidance. He's very supportive and very helpful.
Yes.
So the ones he listed in the email are the ones where he thought they could line up with it in some ways or not, and
Right.
explained why.
Right.
And we are tier 3. Do you know why? That looks like it's the most favorable. Am I reading that correctly? Most
But I
favorable
think that's
forgiveness?
referring to the water side.
It says clean water projects, which is wastewater, right?
Correct.
And drinking water PFAS mitigation, and then the other one is drinking water.
Right.
I don't know why we're listed as tier 3 specifically. I do remember us talking about the tiering system, and there were 5 tiers, and it was more in terms of emergent need for the project in terms of
Right.
scoring. And 5 was, if I understood them correctly, 5 was more of a imminent failure, must be done as quickly as possible, and he thought our project would likely align with a 4. Obviously, we have to respond. So it wasn't quite the highest need, but
But the tiers are related to the forgiveness, correct?
there's tiers for eligibility to be accepted in,
Yep.
because there's so many requests they have to score. This is referring to the forgiveness, so they must use tier again in that analysis and the way they're presenting that. That's slightly different than the way you discussed it with us. We talked in the meeting more about tiers in terms of eligibility competitiveness, as opposed to forgiveness. He mentioned that there was forgiveness for principal, so he's sharing that information, but he didn't explain it as a tier when we talked about it.
Right.
Okay. But that tier reference afterward is actually referring to the forgiveness prior. And that is our tier?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's suggesting up to
Have to
9.9%.
have it hear it twice that we're going to have something that we're eligible for forgiveness, that's all. Not usually the
It appears
conversation we get to have, so.
it appears that way.
Okay.
So eligible is not guaranteed. It could be prorated based on,
It all depends, similar to the other programs that we've done with the state, on acceptance in, because they have more need than they can fund. So the strength of our application would be a determining factor, and the immediacy of the need. And we were very clear with him about the issue with the clarifiers, and so obviously that's a critical component of our infrastructure, so that's certainly compelling. But the plant still operates, so it's not as if we can't function. We are functioning. We're not failing to meet permit. We are meeting permit. So
Right.
we're trying to do the right thing and be proactive and get it done before there is a loss. And he understands that, but there could be a whole bunch of projects who are ahead of us because they are at loss.
sounds like a 4.75 to me.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Well, there's only 3 tiers on that forgiveness chart, and we are at the most advantageous tier for forgiveness. And it's adjustable per capita income, so because our per capita income is low, we make tier 3 in comparison to the state average, I'm assuming. Median, something like that. But that doesn't mean we'll get the money to get it forgived. Okay, so that was a whole lot of, yeah. What does it take to actually apply?
It's not going to be small.
Yeah.
He encouraged us that we could do it ourselves. I don't know if you would want to understand what a proposal from a consultant who does this looks like, so we can understand what they would propose that their staff hours on this would be versus us. There's nobody in-house currently who has gone through this program. We're managing loans outside. They've already been awarded completed projects. That's not the same
Yeah,
as
no.
doing this.
Understood.
But it did sound like there would be part of the reason he's being so clear with all these tools. DEP wants people to understand that this isn't something you necessarily need a consultant for. You could do this as the town.
Do we have the capacity to do it?
That's always the question. Unfortunately, it's due on July 24th, so it does not give a huge runway to complete the drafts and get it ready, reviewed by everybody and submitted. So we have to be able to accomplish it in the next 3 weeks.
And if we were to go in the direction with a consultant, how much time would it take to get them on board and, while the clock's ticking?
All depends. I mean, if they've already got several other clients already in the queue that they're working on this for, then again, it's possible if a consultant's already familiar with our system, familiar with this project and need, it's also possible that they may be able to do it relatively quickly if they're familiar.
They would be likely the first one we contacted, the same one that quoted this for us, right? Or gave us an estimate.
I mean,
for
that would be
what it
my recommendation.
Yeah. I mean, given the time frame, we don't have a lot of bandwidth and we don't have a lot of runway. So I would say, Pete, can you give them a call tomorrow, your contact over there at Time Bond, and say, I mean, they know about the project, they know about SRF, they've probably helped us with this before, if I'm not mistaken. So just ask them directionally, like, what is it roughly in hours and cost, or is that something that they would do? I know they've helped us with applications before at no cost, assisted with them. So if we could just find out, and we're meeting tomorrow night, I know it's under 48 hours, but to me, we don't have time, so it becomes emergent to decide.
Okay.
And we don't have enough information to decide tonight. We don't have bandwidth, and we don't necessarily have any idea what it would cost. So can you reach out to them and get us an answer by 5 o'clock tomorrow, 4 o'clock tomorrow,
We can try.
or something directionally? Maybe they say they can do it and fit it in. They know the timelines too, but just
Oh,
be
yeah.
clear.
I'm sure they have an idea. They've done this, I'm sure, many times.
I have no idea, but I would hope most of the work that we did to get the estimates is a lot of what's needed for the application. So
I assume.
I would think it's not a heavy lift for them to do.
Mhm.
So maybe they can give us a hand.
Okay.
Unless either of you have a different opinion.
No, that
No.
makes sense to me, and I agree. It is does have some exigency to it, so or an emergent need.
So
We'll work on it tomorrow.
and we'll remember to put it on as an item we got to cover. Okay.
Hopefully we'll have a number for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I think that's it for questions for this one for now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Review and potential vote on agreements for designer and OPM for the elementary school roof and HVAC project with MSBA. Do you want to come up for any commentary, or only if we have questions? Okay, all right, that's fine. I
Just
don't,
here to hear.
you're here to hear? Perfect.
If I screw this up, make sure you let me know.
I wasn't gonna say that.
That's what I'm saying
The
for you.
wording's not perfect.
Okay, so
All right. Fire away, sir.
we have finally been assigned both an OPM and a designer for your project. The MSBA structures every step of this, so we're going at their pace. But when they give you notice, you have to act quickly. So they've given us 6 weeks to turn around these agreements. You've been assigned Collier's project leaders out of Agawam to serve as your OPM. And so the first step is to engage them for the first phase of this project, which is simply to take us through schematic design. MSBA sets a maximum compensation limit for that service of $15,000. So the agreement that you have in your packets today and the recommendation is to engage them specifically for this limited scope of work, not to exceed $15,000. As we move through this project and move to future phases, we will amend this contract, and they have provisions already in the agreement for how that will be done. Ty and Bond out of Westfield has been assigned as your designer for this project. But you can't sign that contract because we haven't negotiated the fee yet. You can't negotiate the fee until the OPM's on board. So we have to do it in this order, finish this step. Once Colliers is on board, we'll have a kickoff, we'll meet with them, we'll negotiate that fee, and we'll be back to you with that presentation to get Ty and Bond through schematic design.
Structure's good.
Yes. Yes. And we've heard pretty frequently from our OPM. Alan is his name, and they're eager to begin working with us and schedule this kickoff meeting. So we should be able to get up to speed very quickly.
I just want to remind them the spelling so that they don't submit something incorrectly.
We did.
Okay, good.
They've apologized. It was just an oversight, but it will be correct going forward.
Fair enough.
I have
Once
no
or twice. Any questions
None.
for you, Jim?
No questions.
Make a motion to engage Colliers Project Leaders USA and ELLC of Agawam, Massachusetts 01001 for professional owner's project manager service related to the Erving Elementary School. Project ID number 2025-009-10030, potential roof replacement and heat pump conversion in an amount not to exceed $15,000, and to authorize Brian Smith, town administrator, to execute all necessary agreements.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So then next up shortly we'll talk about Ty and Bond and then go from there.
We'll be back to you with a designer contract, and then I'm not sure exactly what the team will look like, but we'll have to start to structure out regular communications between you all and the school committee about the project and the different iterations as we get closer to having a conceptual design for you to consider. So
We should talk about who's on that team, because I know you're going to want to have some of the, facilities team, the town broadly, from the school, like everybody on that collaborating. We talked about it, I think, before when we were talking about the application, so
absolutely.
probably just coming up with some structure around who's partaking, just so it's clear. We put that on the agenda on our first July meeting, maybe for the board to start talking about who they'd like to see on it, and then I'm sure the school committee will be talking about it as well with you, and whether we come together or just share notes and sort that out from there. Yeah,
Excellent.
it looks like it's going to go fast and slow and fast and slow, so we should do whatever we can when.
Slow, and then we need this in 6 weeks.
Yeah, right. So anything we can do that we're getting ahead when we're not in the hurry is good. So, all right,
Excellent.
good to see progress.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Shannon.
I know you're here for more than one, right, Thomas? Tonight? Yeah. Why don't you come on up? And if you want to tell me which ones you're here for rather than me guessing, and we'll just work our way through them. Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Or Brian, if you want to, whoever wants to cue
So
which ones they are. I
Just
know there's a
start
few.
with, I'm going to respectfully ask us to pass over number 10, the senior center flooring.
Okay.
We've been working on this for a few months. We've only received one respondent quote, even though we've worked it with 3 vendors.
Okay.
And in rereading all of the state contract requirements, we need to find a second quote. So we're going to keep working on that issue.
So even if
So-
it's in scope, we don't have, trying to is not sufficient.
We went
We have
back
to
through it
have-
again. And there's some fine language in there about
Okay.
if you get multiple no responses, you can count that as one response. So,
Yeah, you can't prove it was the best price.
Fair. Right, right, you have no comparison. That's fair. All
I
right.
do have a question about the senior center.
yes,
Is that all of the floors within the senior center?
just this room for now.
Just this room?
Correct. And I know we're asking you to pass over it, but I brought the sample. If at the end of the night you want to look at what the director is asking us to procure for this procurement, I can show it to you.
Okay.
Is it a that or equivalent, or is it a that?
We were able to specify specifically.
Oh, we could.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we reached out to multiple vendors. They all said they could work with this product. So,
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not used to being able to be that precise without no.
Me
Or
neither.
equivalent,
Yeah,
so.
they were all willing
Neat.
to work with us. So.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
So my only other question is the impact to the senior center
To do it.
to do it?
We won't know that until we award it. We don't have any sort of time frame. I know that the director's hoping it takes only a few days,
Okay.
but it's really not in our control, I guess, right now is the best way to say it.
So I guess I would pose to you and the center, if it's something that can be done on the weekend as opposed to during the week.
We did ask that question when we did a site walk with 3 vendors and asked them all the same questions. They asked their questions. We shared answers in front of everybody. When that question came up, there's a lot of factors that could impact how quickly a project could be done. But it did sound it was a couple days just in stripping and prepping this floor, and then a couple days to reapply. So it sounded like it would be approximately 4 to 5 days.
Yeah.
So we could start on the week potentially, but it would still creep into.
Okay.
So we even talked about maybe it would be the tail end of a week, maybe starting like a Thursday, carrying forward. So
Right.
whoever you select in the end from the vendors that we bring forward, I think that would be a very important conversation that we need to clarify.
Okay. Makes sense. If there's any days it needs to kind of just air out too after.
Exactly.
All right. So we're relatively passing over it.
Yes. Little update.
Till a future meeting. Okay. Review and vote on the architectural proposal for library
Yes, sir.
roof project.
So that's section 12. So the capital planning committee made a recommendation after hearing a request from the library regarding concerns for the ice melt and the sleet that comes down onto the air handling equipment for the facility. It's been 3 seasons where we've had sustained damage on that equipment. And the initial ask was $30,000 for the solution. And as we went through that work, Capital was very confident that $30,000 was probably just enough to do the design work and the bidding and construction work, and that the solution, because we're changing roof lines and trying to protect that equipment, potentially would be much more than $30,000. So there was an ask when you structured your town meeting warrant to appropriate $30,000 just solely on design, with the plan that we come back with a project scope and then the opinion of cost from the designer. So that approved at town meeting. We can go and search for an architect who has the capacity to do this work. As an initial request, I reached out to the architectural firm that designed your library. They have your as-builts. They know the facility very well. So they have responded, and they have presented you with a proposal. The proposal includes what they anticipate to be the full scope. It just comes to approximately $28,000. But the recommendation, and I tried to work that into the recommendation memo from the engineer, or excuse me, from the architect, is to start with task 1 and just let's get our basis about us. That's scoped to be $11,215. And then we can amend it later once we truly know what's going on, what the scope looks like, make sure that the town is satisfied with the direction, and we can amend the design contract for the second task, if that made sense to you all. If you instead would like to see more proposals, I can go out and reach out to other firms. It's up to the 3 of you.
I'd like to see the project move forward.
I mean, sooner we get it done, the sooner we protect the equipment from further damage and additional costs later on other things like replacing.
I agree on that, but I just have to voice a bit of a concern that did they not design the roof that we have to now fix?
Yes, they did.
That is damaging the equipment. And so while they have the as-built and they have the knowledge of what was done, here we are, paying for it to be right. And so there's a part of me that strongly struggles with paying the same vendor who didn't get it right the first time, to be frank.
Valid.
I would agree with that, and that came to my mind as well when I read it.
Yeah.
But
And I'm-
there's something to be said about at least they have some knowledge
I
about
agree.
the process.
I agree. They don't have to get up to speed in
Right,
one way or another,
right.
but yeah.
Your concern was anticipated. That's exactly,
Was it in their warranty?
no. No, it wasn't. And we
Or the
discussed it,
guarantee on the plan?
we discussed it internally in the departments.
I'm sorry.
This concern that you're expressing, we certainly discussed in advance of even seeking this.
I'm sure you knew it would. One of us would
100%
say
knew it
it.
was going to happen, and it's, I think, justified. I do think that there is one a concern about how much. I am concerned that we won't be able to do this before the winter, which was the initial capital planning goal, was to have the money appropriated in time that we could get this done. I'm very cautious that that's probably not realistic in terms of a timeline. But if there's any chance of doing that, the quicker we get this project up to speed with somebody who understands and can design it, the better that chance may still exist.
Well, I'll add, we have an additional control in place with Thomas, who
And that was next
understands the pain points we've had, who now can represent the town's interest with a basis of knowledge that could anticipate any future design flaws that they come in with.
I think between Thomas,
Fair point.
the library director, Glenn McCrory, you're going to have many eyes watching this very carefully. Plus, the trustees are very involved in this, so I think you're going to have a lot of oversight.
Agreed.
The only other one is just doors and other things aside. The roof itself has been a topic at times, and the different warranties or contradictions between them. And so if we're touching that roof, which is already, I just feel like messy, maybe it isn't, and hopefully we don't have issues we have to ever deal with, but that's just another one that's not, it's probably already on your radar, but like just being cognizant of now if we're attaching or modifying it, how is that going to affect it?
And I think that is a concern, and the hope would be, though I think you noted that there's some, I feel like there was some conflicting information between how we understood the different warranties.
Mm-hmm.
To navigate that, I think we can call that at the beginning of this project, that's a concern. Those are working documents that the architectural firm already has at their disposal, and we can make them intentionally go through that review to make sure that whatever is being altered, if it's going to have an impact on a warranty, that we understand what that trade-off is so that you can make an informed decision.
I feel like they were there because some of that stuff came up during install even and during
Right.
construction. It wasn't just after, so.
Right.
But whether one thing voided the other or all that stuff, so.
Right.
Okay. As long as we put that out in front too. I agree. It needs to get done.
Yep.
Waiting longer is not going to help either.
Right.
I make a motion to engage Johnson Roberts Associates Incorporated for professional designer services related to the public library roof addition project for the scope of work outlined in task 1 in an amount not to exceed $11,215, and to authorize Brian Smith, town administrator, to execute all necessary agreements.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are you here for the Farley Bridge one too? Or
The
no?
what?
The Farley Bridge one?
No, the
Okay.
Fire alarm.
the fire alarm.
The fire alarm one. Oh, thanks. Review and potential vote on the fire extinguisher alarm and sprinkler testing services procurement.
So we worked with FERCog again to procure the service. Thomas worked with both the FERCog and the vendors who came to ask questions and collect data. And the final submissions included 3 vendors. And I can give the full breakdown, but the presumptive low bidder for Erving was once again Fire Equipment Inc., who you've used in past cycles. So I think
Presumptive or what actually was?
it was.
Became.
The language is presumptive.
Is
but
it
yeah,
really?
Yes.
How, okay. How can you be sure if you're only presuming? I'd love to know.
The price is, you have to go through and make sure all the other bid requirements were there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
there was one lower one, but all the requirements weren't there.
They weren't met. Okay, I see. I gotcha.
How long does the process take?
Did you spend 2 months on that?
Yeah, it took a while. It was started back at the beginning of April, and we just got them back last week.
Maybe the 18th?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took a while.
Is that normal?
To be honest with you, I don't remember seeing as many
It was open
communications.
for like, I want to say like 45 days.
Wow.
I think it was April 1st to like the second Monday in June.
This was the first time people asked for site walks
Yeah.
and other documents.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, okay. All right.
A lot of shuffling going on in that field.
I guess
In the
so.
industry.
Hey, yeah, okay. Some consolidation and adoption and
Mm-hmm.
everything else that goes along with that. Gotcha.
Some for the benefits, some not so much.
Given some of the names on there, I see what you mean. No concerns from the town?
I don't have
Questions
any
or concerns
concerns.
from either of you?
No concerns.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to engage Fire Equipment Incorporated of Agawam, Mass. To provide fire extinguisher, alarm, sprinkler testing, and associated services for fiscal year 2027, and to authorize Brian Smith, Town Administrator, to execute all necessary agreements.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, since I crossed it off before I forget about it, we'll do a review and discussion regarding the Farley Bridge project and the Mass DOT reimbursement agreement.
So that's a memo I sent you this afternoon.
This is a question I've been having for a little while, is where's all that at? So it's a good, timely topic.
Trying to demystify it for you.
Better info here than last time, so.
I've had constituents asking as well.
Yep, same. I've had neighbor constituents asking when I was across the borders too.
Let's give you some updates.
Absolutely, it sounds good.
So you have received communication about 2 weeks ago from MassDOT. They had originally heard a request from the town of Wendell and town of Erving for some assistance to help close the gap that we were experiencing on the additional structural work that was identified back in the fall, but you met with the Wendell Select Board in December. And so MassDOT reached out and is prepared to commit up to $180,000 in reimbursement funding for the work that we were identifying as a gap. So they, I believe, will be directly signing that agreement with the town of Wendell, who's been acting as the fiduciary for most of this project. It's possible they may send an additional agreement to us just because we're associated. I just haven't received that yet. That is in line with the work that the town of Wendell, specifically through Phil as chair of the road commission, has been doing to maintain the rural development funding that's been largely the source of funding for that project. So he did reapply because we were coming to the end of the first grant award that they had received on the project. the timeline for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's my understanding that that's all in, and he's been working on that. So sincere thank you to our friends in Wendell for handling that for us.
So that's the updated submission was an extension of that funding,
Correct.
given the challenges in the project and
Correct.
delayed timeline. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
So while the funding piece seems to now be sorted out, MassDOT also at the end of May approved the revised plans that Gill Engineering worked on to do the structural work. Now that we have that approval in there, Warner Brothers began ordering the new components and getting the submittals through. And so there is an anticipated, of course subject to change based on external factors, but mid-July return to the site to begin resuming that work. So we're very excited about that. So I think it's positive progress, maybe a little slower than most were hoping for, but it sounds like we're right back on track. Warner Brothers is still committed to the project, and MassDOT was willing to step up and help us out as well.
So just because we haven't met, I know last time we met in Wendell, we talked about meeting again when we got a little further along, which
Right.
this is great news. So I'm not upset that we didn't have to meet to get there. But so the 180 that they've now offered as reimbursables on top of the grant funding and the portions the towns had put forward covers the updated scope
That's my
with
understanding.
some contingency as well, I believe.
Correct.
And this is the replace the various structural items pre-painted brought in and the overall like rust and paint and
Yes.
forget what that was, but like R&R on the whole structure was the thing that we did not do. This gets us a ways out on that, and all the
Yes.
other pieces are checked off.
That's my understanding. Correct.
Okay.
That's what we presented to MassDOT.
Right, and that's what we believe they approved.
Correct.
Okay. Excellent. I'll take it.
So is there any initial cost up front? Because it says reimbursable, so.
So there will be, as you're noting, there will be the need for a town to spend up front and then seek the reimbursement through MassDOT.
Right.
Wendell to date has been handling all of that. So, and then sending us when we have to pay invoices or the like. At one point we were having vendors send both of us invoices and then we would pay, and that was turning into an issue. So it's a little cleaner that Wendell is doing that. So, so yes, they will have to spend up front and then seek reimbursement. They didn't say what the schedule would be.
Right.
Sometimes there's like once a month
Right.
or some type of schedule. But right now Wendell is kindly taking that on.
Okay.
But when they're reimbursables, like you can spend negative in an account and the reimbursable goes back into
Treat it
it,
like a
right?
grant.
So it's just, it's like a grant receipt, right? So,
Correct.
okay. Well, I appreciate them taking the overhead and lead on this, and it's been a lot of twists and turns along the way, but considering everything, this is great news.
Absolutely. No, we're very fortunate.
So,
Do we have any ETA on once they're, is that where you were going?
yeah, because I know that's the next question I'm going to be asked by
Absolutely.
my neighbor constituents. July is it's approximate start.
Mid-July is when they anticipate being back to work on the site. They'll probably be there maybe a week or two, just getting the site back. Remember, all of that timber that had been delivered to the site had to be relocated to Erving for safe storage over the winter. So they have all this material to bring back to mobilize to the site.
Okay.
So they'll be out there in advance of the structural components arriving. And then they'll be actively out there again. I have not asked them for what they anticipate that work schedule to look like once they return, but I'm sure in the next week or two we will start to get that. And so as soon as I have that, I can get it to the three of you.
Do you remember what was remaining, like where we hit pause on that scope, time-wise? Was it weeks?
I mean, the initial scope was, I think, an ambitious 4 weeks.
Okay. So we still have 3+ weeks of work left
At
on
least,
that
yes,
scope.
At least.
Okay.
Yes.
Plus to replace the structure underneath first.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess
Mm,
probably in
Hopefully
time
by
for foliage season.
yeah. We hope
Hopefully for
so.
foliage season, we are back up in business.
Optimistically thinking.
Yes.
Cross our fingers for that. Be happy if we get it. Excellent news, though. Thank you for the update. You do have a question on there, and I think it makes sense if we do need to sign anything up to the reimbursable amount that MassDOT has provided for us. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. Most likely the review do,
All right,
and we'll
yeah.
just not slow things down. So
Right.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Brian Smith to sign any and all agreements from Mass DOT and or Wendell on behalf of relative to the reimbursable funding agreement for the costs of Farley Bridge E-10-006.
Second.
Up to $180,000, if I didn't say that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. I guess we'll back to the top. Review of the draft hazard mitigation plan, third read. That is a read. Any comments on that? Feedback?
Just want to make one note. There does look like the link on the website wasn't fully updated, so that has been corrected as of today.
Oh, before today?
Correct.
So if anyone wanted to look at it, wasn't
It
functional?
looked like it was working before, but it was brought to my
So-
attention that it was still pointing to the last draft, and so I made that correction.
Oh, okay.
When I opened it up, I got more than a little confused when I saw some of the people on the committee who no longer work for the town. Other people's titles were incorrect.
Good
And
catch.
the date was 2019. Because of the late hour and understanding how much some people already work already, I decided to pause my question until today. What I will say is if you two gentlemen have had the opportunity to read the updated draft and want to proceed, I have no objections to it. I will just abstain from the vote because I have not adequately prepared to opine.
I've read it and I have no major concerns. I have no concerns. The document is such that it will change as time moves forward,
Yeah.
and as things happen, it will affect the document and change it in ways that we will adjust to those changes. So I have no problem moving it forward.
And we will be sending it out and getting feedback as well. So, I mean,
Right.
it's, to your point, even now, we're adopting it, but it's a living document, so it might change based on feedback
Sure.
anyway. And so I think if we come up as we reread them, because I'll read it again because there's a lot in there, we can always make some adjustments as needed to. So I agree, Bill. I'm good with it.
Okay, I just had a second now. I make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2026-01, a resolution of the town of Irving, Massachusetts, adopting the town of Irving Hazard Mitigation Plan 2026.
I will second that. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I will abstain.
Resolution requires the exact vote detail, huh?
I know, as I was
I
putting
don't
it
think I've
together,
seen
I've
that
never
before.
seen one that detailed, but
Exactly, that's interesting.
that's
Okay.
okay.
All right. Well, we will mark it as such, sign it, and have it attested. Submit it along with, I assume.
Yes, they require it. NEMA won't review without it, so I will get that ready for you.
Okay, perfect. Review of surplus equipment request, IT department, third read. Questions or concerns?
No concerns?
No concerns.
Make a motion, we adopt the surplus property disposition request for 12 monitors and 4 printers and 2 battery backup units. The monitor, printer parts, and battery backups have no use. And disposal through e-waste or potential bid depending on any value that might exist.
I'll second that to move it forward.
Before we vote on it, do we believe there's value? Is that worth
Well,
the effort?
that is
or-
my question.
Okay.
I think it's
So I
Before
second it.
I
Second
shouldn't
it
say
for
before we move it,
discussion.
before we vote on it.
largely assumed to be scrap and recycling.
Okay, so I wouldn't, there's probably no potential value to put on
Yeah.
bid, right? I mean, I don't believe there is either. So we would kind of strike that portion and just plan to dispose of as e-waste?
You got it.
Is that the direction?
Yes, that
Yeah.
works for me.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
FY 2027 reappointment of board and committee members.
I will make a motion to appoint the individuals in the 2027 slate of reappointed officials for the positions and terms as indicated, and to incorporate said slate of officials into the meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Uh,
you.
The Franklin Regional Council of Governments and Franklin Regional Transit Authority appointments. Is there any need to do those before our first July meeting?
I assumed you'd want to wait till you reorganize.
I figure it would just make more sense, so
Yep.
we'll carry those to then.
Absolutely.
And some of those vacancies listed below the table are potentially being filled tonight, later in the agenda, right?
Correct.
Okay, so those are prior council.
Correct.
Thank you.
Wait, there's more.
And if you order in the next 48 hours, there's another
Okay,
bonus.
2 additional committee members. No additional
Only paying
cost.
extra shipping and handling and processing fee.
How much is the docking fee, though? All in.
Review of meeting minutes, June 15th, 2026.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of Monday, June 15th, 2026 as written.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Review and potential vote on curbside solid waste collection procurement. Updated.
That's the updated one from the view. Yes.
Okay.
So high level, we started our conversation with Casella about 2.5 months ago, and this wouldn't be the first time you were asked this, but the industry obviously is changing and evolving and going to more automation, and so there was a lot of conversations about what a new 3-year contract may look like, and there were some questions about whether or not the town would be interested in considering some automation specifically on trash collection. And whether or not you would be willing to go to, say, those rolling totes and things of that nature, like some other towns. There's reasons for moving in that direction, not only for efficiency on the route, but also to reduce workers' comp issues when people get injured, getting in and out of trucks or lifting those bags, especially the heavy ones. So there was some questions about, would the town want to consider that option? If so, would you want to consider a capital outlay and buy all of those units to put out to all the homes? Is that instead something you'd want to have the vendor provide? If so, obviously that changes what your service contract is, broken out over 5 years. There were a myriad of conversations. And then there was a question about, should we just do a 1-year extension, considering the lateness of the fiscal year, the budget season, and then all of these uncertainties. And so I also had to obtain a new prevailing wage schedule. The rates are significantly higher than what they were in the previous contract. And so we had originally contemplated what a 1-year extension would look like, and they had proposed a 5% increase. they can't sustain that with the change in rates. And so to be able to pay the prevailing wage rates, they gave you your first proposal. I did let them know, obviously, our budget cycle has completed and that we certainly were not anticipating that significant of an increase. And I asked them if there was any additional refinement they could do without changing the service. And so they were able to reduce it $2,000. So the new price comes in at $152 and change.
And our budget is?
That is a wonderful question. Let me pull that back up.
So our current contract carries an extension, a 1-year extension on it?
There's an option in it.
Is it an exclusive option to the town?
Let me pull that up for you too. I don't believe it is. I know we had this issue with your last hauler over whether or not it was mutually exclusive or if it was by mutual agreement. Let me double check that.
Just to understand our position.
So we budgeted $143,325. So it still is an increase of about $9,000 over what we budgeted. So we'd have to pull from other line items.
How much, Brian?
143,
325.
325.
Correct. And to answer your other question, give me one more moment.
$91,36.92.
It's closer than my 9150.
Call it $91.37.
Yeah.
Carry that 8 cents as a contingency fee.
We have about 650 pickup locations.
Approximately that many households, correct.
How many? 600?
50.
So $4.51 per household.
How did you get there from 9150, 9137?
Oh, I did the full amount over the course of the year.
A week? That's a weekly rate per household?
Yeah, 152,000
Oh,
divided
okay.
by 56.
All I was doing was the difference.
Divided by 52 divided by 650 households.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a weekly fee.
$4.51 per household per week.
And we've been giving away 3 per week free. So at $1.50 a bag, it would pay for itself. Is that what you're saying? Your quick math?
That's not what I'm saying, but
So the calculator
we've
said?
been talking all night that if math needs to math, then 450 divided by 3 would be 150.
Gotcha.
I didn't even need the calculator to figure that one out. The banker in me.
Okay.
The gap is about a quarter, about 27 cents a week. The current budget gap. Not that I think that's the right thing, but just the other math. Are you reading the contract clause?
Yes.
I'm sorry. While he does that, we do have a shortfall, and we haven't talked about trash stickers yet this year, have we? For FY27? I don't believe so.
They're free, right?
3 per week per household are free. Beyond that, they are pay. So it's a freemium model. I don't even know what you would call it. It's a somewhat free pay-as-you-throw program. Or a mostly free pay-as-you-throw program. We don't get a lot of revenue from it, I'm sure. I also don't know. The
Does-
revenue is probably a general receipt. Doesn't necessarily go right back in against it either.
It is a general receipt, and it's 50 cents a sticker.
Beyond your
Correct.
Do we have a lot,
156.
do we have a lot of households that exceed the 3?
Only maybe in the last month and a half.
We're not making hundreds.
No.
We're not making 20s probably a year. We're not making much.
No.
Another reason why I was thinking we might want to talk about it, like changing that.
Well, we're not making
tonight, but-
anything. We're recovering. Previously
Fair point.
expended.
Fair point. We're not offsetting anything right now, really.
So your term
Probably
does
not even the
say
cost of printing.
3-year term commencing July 1st, 2023, ending June 30, 2026, and upon mutual agreement of the parties, the agreement may be extended or renewed for 2 additional 1-year terms. It just doesn't say what those additional terms would be.
Mutual agreement,
Mutual agreement.
which Casella has outlined what mutual agreement would be for them.
Correct. Correct.
So, it is
Totally fine.
fair.
So
Yep.
now we're back to where we were.
Right.
I do think you all have, and I know 3 years ago when you negotiated this contract, Selectman Ambassador Ash was your negotiating lead on that one. You spent a lot of time talking about the freemium sticker model that you'd put into place. You talked a lot about what you wanted for services, and so I think it's probably a great time this year for us to spend maybe some time this late summer, early fall, having a conversation about what you want FY28 to look like. Work that out with whether it's Casella and they're willing to do it, or whether or not you want to go out to the market and see if there's a different vendor that aligns more. And then obviously once we have those costs incorporated into your budget proposal.
I mean, it seems a little silly that they actually have cost escalators in their proposed additional year if they can negotiate them higher.
I did let them know that we weren't agreeing to that.
Yeah, exactly.
That
It says mutually agreed.
we would agree to at least a 1-year extension if the three of you were okay with it, but we weren't getting that far ahead of ourselves that we would.
For the following year, yeah.
Correct.
Of course. Those clauses come with a one-sided
Yes.
right to extend, not a two-sided right to extend,
Right.
usually. Any, so what do you guys think? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm in favor of a 1-year extension and to have a discussion on where to proceed from there later in the year.
When do we normally discuss stickers? Now? 2 weeks ago?
I mean, I think the last time we discussed it, it was late summer going into the fall because we were ramping up for a rollout in the next spring. So I remember Jan coming to meet with you all and we had that conversation. So I want to say it was fall. So
But we have discussed issuing stickers every year.
you've talked about it, but you haven't made any substantial changes to the
No, but
program.
we've always discussed it before we issued, right? Every year?
Yeah,
Yeah. Which has been about now?
it would have been earlier than now.
Have we given out new stickers yet?
Starts in a day,
Have we given out new stickers yet?
not for July 1st.
Okay.
Anybody who's been up against the limit, we've informed them that they could come on July 1st and we would have their stickers for them.
So
We just
my
don't know how
question-
many because we haven't decided.
That's correct.
My question would be, did the sticker program accomplish what we intended it to do in the beginning?
That's a great question. We did some follow-up analysis last year, probably August or September. So I have that data. We need to incorporate this year's data from
Okay.
there so we can give you that trend line. We did start to see an uptick in the tonnage. It's still nowhere as bad as we were when we instituted the program. So we did see that drop. But I do think we had a few implementation issues. There was, for a brief period of time, where people were still putting bags on curbside and They didn't have a sticker and it was still being collected, so people weren't coming in to get that. As soon as we became aware of that, we addressed that with the hauler. That stopped. That was a few years ago. And I think in general, people have more stickers. As we noted, there's very few households that come in to get the additional stickers. So there are certain households who have probably accumulated over a year or two a significant amount of stickers. And so I think if the goal is to sort of plateau that tonnage so that we're not putting more into the disposal system than you wanted, it's possibly that last year's allotment got pooled to the next year and to the next year, and so it can grow in future years. And so we may want to have a conversation, is it 2 stickers per week as opposed to 3, and bring that down a little bit more so it feels a little bit more scarce than it does currently.
Well, the cost only is going up,
It's only going up.
and the tonnage is going up. I think directionally, what I recall, because I think we were both on the board, is yes, it brought the tonnage back down to somewhere reasonable because it was just
Right,
astronomically out of
right,
scope
right.
and out of scale.
Right.
We were weighing things in, and just it was all hands trying to figure out how to get that back into something normal because it was so far off.
Right.
But it's still climbing.
Yeah.
It's still getting more costly. I don't remember what last year's was contract.
About 136.
Yeah. So 16,000 increase in 1 year.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
I'm just not sure that we're ever going to impact the cost by raising the price of stickers.
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
like if we made them
No.
all pay, yeah, I mean, do something. I'm not necessarily, I guess maybe if it sounded like that, directionally saying that we need to increase the price of them, I'm saying that we should reduce the quantity of free ones. Because I also agree that there's probably more out there pooled already that people haven't used up than there are people who are waiting for July 1 for more. And so it'll probably take a while, even if we reduced what we're giving out, to actually see any increase in, pay as you throw
Right.
receipts against that. So,
So here's something to consider. If we move forward with a 1-year contract, it buys a future version of the board time to reconsider. You could also put a governor on the amount per household through an automation process, in that if a household is issued 1 hopper, that controls how much the household can dispose of each week.
right.
And then so if you have 1 barrel, doesn't matter how many you don't need the stickers
Right.
to
Just fill the
control
barrel.
the amount of waste that the household has. And you can realize your savings through the automation process and renegotiate in future years. Of course, there's a capital outlay to begin with the hoppers, and the consideration where if larger households needed a second barrel, there would be a fee associated with that.
Right.
But at least it gives future boards an opportunity to evaluate that.
Right. It's a very good point. If they,
If through automation you could cut
Right.
your annual cost by 30%, it's a win.
that sounds very optimistic, sir.
Well, you can go, if they're concerned about workers' comp claims, what
Yeah. Oh,
what
I hear you.
they'll be realizing savings on their end that they can pass on to us.
In terms of the capital outlay as well. And things like that. But
How
yeah,
many trucks come out, Brian? Is it just 1 truck?
So it depends on the week. There was a period of time where we had a split body truck that did
Yep.
most of the routes, and so it would be both trash and recycling into separate compartments. There was a significant period of time specifically for cardboard, and please don't, for anybody who's watching, that say I don't want you to recycle, I do. But there was more cardboard on the street for collection than could fit in the truck.
Right.
And so we had incomplete routes. They had to leave to go dispose of that material at the disposal site and then come back. And if they couldn't do that in 1 day, they would have to come back the following day. Or they would sometimes send up a second truck. So the impact of that was there would be the sport body truck plus a recycling truck following them around to complete the route. So keeping the tonnage of trash down prevents us from needing 2 trash trucks to come through town. The more we recycle, if we start going over a certain, capacity, then there may be a need for more of a recycling truck to come through and help pick up those loads.
But the cost to dispose of it,
Recycling?
yes,
Yes,
is not the same as waste.
correct.
So there's an economy there for sure
That's correct.
in tonnage and all that.
That's correct.
Don't know about the cost of diesel, but
Right.
these
So the
days.
people
but
that are recycling cardboard the last week of December, we could maybe encourage them to break it out into the second week of January.
If everybody could just coordinate the tonnage of paper on the side of the street, that would be fantastic.
in some areas they only do recycling at certain.
Yeah, I don't want to get into alternating streets or odd
yeah,
houses
weeks and all
versus even
that.
houses.
Yeah. Right.
That would
Only
be a
the-
nightmare.
Eastern half of town gets the recycling this week
Right.
for paper.
Right.
Well, I know we've had cardboard left behind. And
I do know that some
they've taken
material.
some of it and left the rest.
Have
So
they
they're-
tagged it on you or just not taking it?
No, they just didn't
Just didn't
take
take it.
So they should be using green tags if they're not taking something.
Oh,
And I know residents have started to send me photos of the green tags and what they say. And when I've had complaints and I've gone out, I'll find trash or recycling with green tags on it. So that is how they're supposed to do it. I do think there was a very strict interpretation or an overly strict or a misunderstanding about the size of our cardboard. Our guidance documents say one thing and Casella reviews those when we send them out. And then I was getting feedback that they were looking for something smaller. So I don't know where that happened in the training. I think there was a misunderstanding, but those complaints have sort of fallen off. So I'm assuming that that's been clarified with the staff. If folks are listening and that has not happened, please let us know so we can address it.
There were 3 different sizes out there at one time. The one on their stickers, the one in our document, and the one that they hand wrote is a different size than either of the other 2.
Not helpful.
I can
None
guarantee
of
you
that's
that all 3 of those existed at one time.
not any of that's helpful.
3x3, 2x2, 2x3. I don't know. Some
Our guidance is what should matter.
chaos like
Right.
that.
Right.
It is, but it's not what they were rejecting.
Correct.
So-
And a lot of that, we've had that conversation with them about when the staff turnover, the training
Yeah.
is really important to make sure that our rules are being followed.
And the timeliness in continuing the route.
Yes. There have been,
Are those things that we believe are addressed in this extension?
they're not specifically called out, but I can add that into the agreement if that's what you want. I mean, in our document, we do have a penalty structure, we do have a reporting requirements. We can have a conversation about the times that specifically this year there were challenges.
Seemed like it was frequent from the
There was a
feedback.
period of time that was much more frequent than I would have ever wanted, more than we had in past years. And I think there was a unfortunate pattern of the notice coming to us so late on a Friday that by the time we got the message and could get it out to our residents, people were already coming home from work or finding that the materials hadn't been collected, and so they were frustrated. And I think that's a very understandable issue. So
Fixing
an
it on
early
Monday was
reporting.
probably more of a problem than anything else.
That was very frustrating, especially in the spring when you're dealing with wild animals and material standing on the side of the road for the weekend. It's never a good situation, and so we have had a better communication. So we're not hearing at 5 o'clock that there's an issue, and we're hearing much earlier. But I don't think it's enough to say it's completely solved. I think we have to continue to monitor and give feedback.
I'm not solely saying we should or shouldn't. I just know that it seems like this year we've had more notices we've had to send out than we have in the last 3 years combined.
I would agree with that.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like we only have like 1 or 2 adjustments usually for weather annually, and we've had a lot non-weather related, like back to back and week after week. So I don't know. We do have to engage and need trash picked up. I mean, I get that. So
I can
do we
certainly
want to
work that out.
stipulate anything in this additionally? I don't know.
No, I think I would just be, I would want to stipulate what, essentially what the contract says and hold them to that for that 1 year. Certainly
see where we
nothing
are.
additional. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because we're not, I know that July 1 is just a couple days away. I would propose that we consider just giving out like a month's worth of stickers at the same rate to give the board time to talk about if we want to make any changes before we give out the rest. Does that sound
Sure.
reasonable? And then
Sounds
in July we
reasonable.
can. Are they all pre-packed up? Is that why you're giving me that look?
We'll do whatever you want. I
not
do
what I
know for
Not
they
if
Are
it's
they
gonna
kind
get
of
ahead.
ahead and they
pre-sorted
started
and-
to
yeah.
start.
Okay.
But what I would say is that there are some residents who have a hard time making it to town hall, and so they carpool or however they make it to town hall, ask them to come back in 4 weeks. May be challenging for some of our residents.
Are the stickers only able to be picked up at the town hall?
Currently, they are. We could work with our counterparts on this side of town to make some available. I typically find that the residents who have the harder time making it to town hall typically are on the Miller's Falls side or the Erving side of town. So we could coordinate that way.
We could also make arrangements for pickup, right? If it was
Correct.
something like that.
The one thing we can't do is mail. We've tried that before. The result is extremely inconsistent,
Yeah.
and they get lost, and it's very expensive to mail that thick of a packet. And so to have all of those stickers lost in the USPS,
Should we entertain changing the colors of the stickers?
you could.
If we were going to expire a color, I'd say yes. But if we're going to
Well,
accept the
I
other
mean,
color, I don't know if that's just
I was kind of
confusing.
thinking in terms of if we don't know how many stickers are out there and we change the color, we will know how many stickers are out there.
The trash hauler might.
Right.
That's true.
And at some point, I don't know how we deal with that, but
Yeah.
um,
If you're making that significant of a change, and we absolutely can do that, I would encourage you to do that for FY28.
We've already printed them for this year, yeah?
We ordered a supply 4 or 5 months ago
That's what I figured.
because we were running out.
Okay,
Um,
that's fine.
but we will go through what we ordered this year.
okay.
Well, how about 3 months? We've got a lot of different things to talk about trash. Is 3 months worth of,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like 1/3,
Yeah.
whatever, or one quarter.
One
There we
quarter.
go. Yeah, wow. Thanks, I'm glad you're mathing tonight.
Okay.
Of the annual allotment, we'll give those
Okay.
out on July 1.
Okay.
Inform people that we will be deciding what we're doing for the balance of the year and
Okay.
the next month or two, and come up with a plan at
Okay.
least by the end of August, so that we're not trying to implement it in a week
Got it.
Sure.
for October 1.
Okay.
Make
All right.
sense?
We'll get going on it.
So that's 3 per for
Mm-hmm.
3 months, and then we'll figure out the rest.
Got it.
Okay.
Do we need an emotion?
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
please.
Unless there's any more discussion. Which,
I'll
Don't
make a
think there
motion.
okay.
I'm sorry, Bill, did
You're good.
No, I'm
You're
fine.
good. He's good.
I'll make a motion to engage Casella Waste Management of Massachusetts Incorporated for the curbside collection of solid waste and recycling for fiscal year 2027 in the amount of $152,461.92, and to authorize Brian Smith, Town Administrator, to execute all necessary agreements.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Gentlemen?
I would say we can engage not in the first week of July, but finance and discussing that,
Yes,
As well.
absolutely.
the trash and like directionally, what are we doing, both short and long term?
I'm assuming there'll be a lot of interest in having that conversation.
Yeah. Review and discussion regarding strategies to address speeding.
I sent you over a memo today.
Just today.
Yes. Yes. And so I know this is the first of, I'm sure, many continued conversations on this topic. We have a lot of projects that you all are working on and considering, and feedback that you've heard from the community. So I just wanted to bring some updates to you all, get you thinking about some of the options you may have, and then to find out what you want to explore or what you need more information on, and then what meetings you want to have with community members. So let me pull that back up in front of me.
And thank you for providing the stats. I know the chief did as well, Chief Holst, in one of our last meetings, and a lot of presence and activity and enforcement happening, which is great to see.
I thought some people may want to see. I know everybody's got a street that they're particularly concerned about.
Mhm.
That'd be helpful if they could see in that period of time he was reporting on what streets were noted for having traffic enforcement.
Yeah, and these are traffic enforcement generally,
Correct. It doesn't get
and it's not citation or not a warning. It's just stops. Period. Right?
correct.
Okay.
That number of stops out.
For any sort of traffic.
Correct.
Can we put the stats on the webpage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you all had this conversation quite some time ago. We were talking about trying to form it into some type of infographic that we could update with some frequency. And we're going to be working on that as well to help share that information.
Yeah.
The one thing I may do, only because this data is 2 weeks old and it's already the end of the quarter, it may be that Chief can provide me the
Full quarter.
The full quarter. And we'll put that out there, and then maybe we'll do a quarterly update for you all.
Sounds
So,
good.
to your point, enforcement is up from the efforts of the police department, and I think that's something that we're seeing within the community, and we're starting to hear feedback from residents, and they're starting to see that. So I think that's certainly part of our efforts. As of last year, and I know we've had this conversation in past years, specifically, maybe 2018, when we were working on the project to connect the sidewalks between the library and the senior community center with the school and all the improvements down 63. I vividly remember Principal Trill at the time raising concerns about speeding in front of the school. We asked MassDOT last year a request to do a speed study to understand whether or not there was a reason to reduce or alter the speeds posted for Northfield Road. They conducted that study. We followed up again, and around the beginning of June, we got the feedback that they've conducted their work. They're finding that the 85th percentile of the traffic moving through that area is traveling in accordance with the engineered speed of the road. So they're not seeing any need to adjust the speeds on Northfield Road. With that being said, we have
in this area.
on Northfield Road right here, yep. That doesn't mean that you can't do something on your section of the road when it gets to Moore and Leicester. So the first thing they're recommending, and this feels slightly different than what we were told a few years ago. I don't know if the regulations changed.
It does.
We all had the same reaction. But you can seek a school zone designation. It's only enforceable or in effect for the period that the school is open. And so if it was to be sought, the three of you have the ability to take that vote. It's an application to MassDOT. They would vet our proposal and the proposed placement of signage and how we wanted to conduct it. And then I believe similar to the truck exclusion permit we had to seek from MassDOT, there will be a document or a permit approval notice from MassDOT that we could install. If we were to do it, I've had the conversation with Chief Holst, Principal Gannon. I know it's not our highway, but I of course included both Glenn McCrory and Glenn Johnson-Musad in that conversation. And the recommendation that we would offer to you all is if you were to proceed, we would encourage you to do it for the full duration of the school day as opposed to just the drop-off and the pickup. The police department would work to prioritize traffic enforcement in the area of the school during those pickup and drop-off times. But that would be the first recommendation. That's something you all have the power to seek without going to town meeting.
So it can be in effect for the whole school day, huh?
Correct.
Pick up, drop off only. Maybe I'm just used to the flasher style that are tied to times.
And those, I did a cutout from the Uniform Traffic Code. You can just do the posted signs. You can do the posted signs with those yellow flashers. We would have to make that decision as well.
For the whole school day, yellow flashers feel like they would become background noise.
Probably.
I mean, that's just a lot of flashing for a long period of time. I
That's
get it
correct.
when it's a hour drop off pickup time because it's just right now.
Right.
Not being law enforcement, you two might have a different perspective
Well,
on what
there
motorists do,
aren't
but
really any houses beside the school zone. I mean, close enough that a flasher would
Oh, like bother?
Right.
Oh, I was just thinking drivers would become numb,
Oh.
like the sign overload. I guess is what I
Drivers.
was thinking about.
Saturation point.
Well, that's fair. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, saturation.
Yes, exactly. Becomes
I,
object permanence a little bit at some point, even if it's flashing. If it's all the time, if it's most of the day, that's all I was thinking.
If you
That
were
doesn't make it right or wrong. I'm not saying we should or shouldn't.
if you were interested in going the flasher route and you wanted to seek this permit and it was approved, one thought we had was we could repurpose the speed feedback sign that we have here, move that equipment to a different location, but reuse that pole and that foundation for the setup that would have to be installed to power and support the flashing lights and all that. So if you did want that type of setup, we would have to invest in an additional pole and foundation, but one would already be taken care of. And this equipment is in good order. It's only a couple years old. We could just repurpose it somewhere else in town that you wanted to identify.
Is this solar?
It is.
So did I understand we could apply to have it in effect for the full school day, and it's either all or nothing with the flashers, or we could apply to have the flashers at the pickup and drop off, but the enforcement through the entire day?
That nuance, I don't know if they are indifferent to that piece, and I could ask that for you. You don't have to have flashers. I know some towns do. You do have to have the required signage that's displayed in your memo. Flashers are certainly an option. Whether you do the full day or whether you do just the drop off and pickup times is a local choice. You do have to clarify that in what you're applying to MassDOT. So I could ask them if the flashers have to be on during the full enforcement period, or if you could prioritize a part of that enforcement period.
Like first hour, last hour type thing. I think that's an interesting combination.
Addresses the saturation issue,
Right.
as
That
well
also
as
calls out the peak time. Hopefully more attention to it.
longevity of the equipment. Not that solar power with LED bulbs has a short life cycle, but, or at least hopefully not. If we could do it that way, that would be my recommendation.
We can put when children are present with no times and enforce accordingly.
I feel like that's a little subjective and
Is there a child?
hard to coordinate with the police department, the school department about how we handle that.
I just found it interesting. I'm not recommending that we do or
Yeah.
don't do it.
No,
That would expand it well beyond school hours.
we would
I mean, that
end
could
up
be-
with some case law.
Right.
And some change to that statute or that
No,
regulation potentially.
I understand where you're going with that. We could also contend what defines the school day, in that we have a building which has a lot of uses for the children in this community outside of 9 to 3. We have after-school programs. We have evening programs. We have
Yep. Summer programs.
Yeah.
So we're not going to solve all that tonight.
No.
no.
What do we have for questions?
But to
Are
do
we
this-
interested in heading that way? And
If
there's
you
a lot
wanted
to it.
to,
Yeah.
we'd have to work on the application.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're going to need some layouts and schematics. I'm assuming we'd have to work with our friends at FRCOG to help plot this out and do it in a format that MassDOT would be willing to accept. But I didn't want to put staff resources on it if you weren't interested.
I'm very interested.
Okay.
Same. I remember not having a crosswalk across the right of way, or the roadway was a stipulation before. It looks like that is at least not in the 3 they called out.
And
Right.
4 called
the
out.
school zone starts at Rose Ledge and continues to Bridge Street.
Within the limits, right? Bill's like, what? I'm sure there's probably some stipulations about that have already been established about how far we can go from border to border.
No doubt.
All right, so it's okay to start working on this one?
Yes.
Okay, we'll bring it back to you at a future meeting.
Townwide.
Townwide. And
Townwide
this-
25 unless otherwise posted.
Right. So this is a statutory option that you take to town meeting. If adopted, then you would post the gateways to every road on the town, notifying anybody entering the borders that there is a townwide speed limit in effect unless the roadway is otherwise posted. And by otherwise posted, it means the you didn't just go out there and put up a sign. It's got to be one of the regulatory or statutory signs that have gone through a speed study and MassDOT is aware of. Which we've been going around and verifying all of those as well. And this is something we have to take to town meeting if you were to do it.
So that's the only option is town meeting to vote on
This one has to be done at town meeting.
I was just wondering if we could put it on a ballot during an election period or something.
Good question.
Oh,
It says vote of the town. I don't know.
we should ask.
Let me ask
Like
council.
the flashers, we should
Yeah,
ask.
Because
Let me ask council.
Part-time flashers.
we're hard pressed, last annual town meeting, that's the fewest people I've seen in decades.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I would think something like this would have some limit on how many people voted, or 10
Minimum?
people can't show up and vote for it.
Well, town meeting's 15, right?
Let me double check with council on that. It just said town vote, but and typically the local adoptions we just take to town meeting. But let me ask.
If I'm following this, so there's MGL 91 and then 9017C, and the former's 30 in thickly settled, the latter's 25 in thickly settled, or we can adopt it townwide or citywide, 17C, but it's still thickly settled only, right?
Right.
Correct.
So it's 25 where it's thickly settled townwide
Right.
if we adopted it.
Correct.
So if you're on the road and it's not thickly settled, it doesn't apply. Even though that sign said that. Is
Or
that
otherwise posted.
unless otherwise posted?
Correct.
But if
In
it's
any
not
way-
otherwise posted, it's not 25 if it's
Those-
not thickly settled
Places are generally posted.
where it is. Okay. And I don't think it's necessarily going to be significant, but we should get, I would like to see an estimate on the cost because we're going to need to add signage at every street bordering community.
Correct.
And a second one potentially reaffirming the speed limit that was on the other side of the 25-mile-an-hour sign. Because you're going to post one out here, and if, or at Northfield Road, you know, at the border of Northfield.
Right.
And if it's a 50 on the Northfield side and then we post the 25, you got to post another 50 right after it. Otherwise, it's going to slow down to 50 until you get,
Let me
or we're relying on thickly settled and people knowing the difference.
let me follow up with MassDOT to understand, because specifically there's 3 roads that they control that we're going to be posting on.
Yep.
That we would run into that issue. So we want to make sure. Well, I'm assuming you're going to do the 2 ways, but maybe you're not. I guess we have to understand that. So, do they expect us to repost speed limits immediately after this warning at the gateway, or if they are satisfied that they're posted appropriately and they just would want the gateway? Let me ask them. If
I mean, if it's
MassDOT's
clearly
requiring
not
it.
thickly settled, then I guess it doesn't apply, right? When you enter? Because, I mean, technically Route 2 and Route 63 are primarily the ones that,
Right.
3 of those are not a 25 today at the border.
Right.
I don't know if we can actually post Route 2, but
No, you have to do it through a permit. We would post it.
we would post Route
Yeah.
2 too?
Yeah.
Well, okay. It's better than posting every street off of Route 2.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So let me
So,
get you
I
some
mean,
cost
is this of
estimates.
interest? It's really the fundamental question is, do we want to
I'm interested.
Bring it,
I-
or find out
I
more
think
at
we
least?
should find out more. definitely.
Okay.
The only one I didn't put on here right now that is sort of in between both of these is that there's one other option called a safety zone that you can seek that is also a local adoption by the voters. And it also would give you, in the areas of, say, like a senior housing facility or a park, you could designate, you have to define and create your zones. You could designate that as a 20. But we would have to go through neighborhood by neighborhood and do that. We haven't tried any of these other ones yet. And then so I didn't know if we were ready for something that had maybe more complexity to it like that. And I didn't know how well the voters may or may not respond to the proposal of like a 25 mile per hour townwide. So
Okay. And there's business district as well, and it's separate. So
You could do it by business
question
districts,
mark
too.
Would be, what does that look like? Do they overlap? Do we not need to worry about it if our business district is thickly settled, which I believe they are
they are. But
under
let me ask.
definition. So
Let me ask that one.
questions that I would have to clarify or want to clarify.
Absolutely.
Any others? We gave you a good list to start.
No, this is very helpful. So thank you.
I'm coming back for the flasher answer.
We'll save you a seat up front.
Would you like to be our traffic expert?
I also just wanted to provide a quick update on the Moore Street and Leicester Street. We did have a meeting about a month ago for COG to understand. We never got the traffic counts. We got the traffic counts. We never got the turn counts. There had been a request from some residents to consider multiple 4-way or 3-way intersections, depending on the configuration down Moore and Leicester Street, where there would be stops on Route 63. You can't use stop signs and stop intersections as a means to control speed. It's right in the regulations. All you can do is go through the traffic engineering study process, and if there was sufficient volume, speed, and turns at specific intersections to warrant it, then you could introduce a stop. And so we got the speeds, we got the traffic counts. What we didn't get were the turning radiuses. And so we're still waiting on that data. I did hear back that they're reviewing internally. So hopefully I have an update for you soon. So I just want to let you know I have reached out to them. They had some staffing transition that I think delayed getting us that information. So hopefully soon. I also wanted to provide just a really quick update on Church Street and North Street. Obviously that's another area of concern that we've been dealing with for decades, but the last few years. Your engineers, Green International, have been working with the planning department, and there was a neighborhood or really community-wide feedback process that happened over the last month and a half. And so they're just incorporating the feedback that they got from all the residents or community members into their proposal. My hope is that this month or next month in July, we'll be able to bring to you some concepts and bring it to the voter or to the community to get some feedback. We won't have time to take it to a town meeting at this point. If you were interested in seeking Complete Streets funding, there is a application round coming in August. I believe August 7th is the deadline. So we're close to an application period if you were interested. The next one would happen in the spring if we wanted to wait. So hopefully I have some concepts to bring you in the next couple weeks. And then the last one, you all have been asked a couple times, and I know that there's some community members who have brought the request forward to consider investing in maybe newer models or consider different placements on those speed feedback signs. I know we have the more permanent one out here that has been working, I think, with largely few to no issues for the last few years. I know about 10 years ago, you installed several along North Street, and those had a mixed result in terms of how long they lasted. I think the batteries died. There were some maintenance issues with them. I know some residents gave anecdotal feedback that they thought some people responded well to them and slowed down. I know others thought, well, maybe it encouraged people to speed because they like it when it flashes. There's more modern models that have, word feedback or color feedback. Those were very simplistic in the way they were designed. They just flashed at you. So I just wanted to remind you that those requests exist. I don't know if you want to explore those. There is more pricing or more contracting, I think, available through cooperative purchasing agreements like Sourcewell. And so just for an example, There's an image of one set that I've seen around the county. People are putting up in different municipalities. Purchasing 4 of those units would cost about $12,500. So I don't know that that's a path you want to go down, but I want to provide that information if that was something you wanted to explore. The nice thing about these things, they are solar powered in theory when they're working correctly, and that's sometimes a little more said than done. The installation is pretty straightforward. It's usually 4-sided channel that you put into the ground with a post hole digger or one of the stompers, and it's up in a day.
Just an observation.
Yes, sir.
These interactive speed signs, at least for me, I seem to respond better when they smile
I was just
or they, say good job or.
Can we get one
Those are
that
the
says
most
thank you?
I mean,
Happy and
whatever.
sad
I
faces.
mean,
I've heard that
seems
feedback.
Like people interact better to it than just a blind, you're doing 80 miles an hour.
Right, slow down,
Right.
speed, slow down,
Right.
speed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I feel like
But
it's
though,
You
that's
see
more.
people
I-
starting
I
to
work for
slow
the happy
down
face.
when they see it, trying to
Right.
get it to
Yeah,
be favorable and say something nice.
Right.
And so,
I feel like that's
I
the
don't-
most
just
universal
my
language
observation.
nowadays is to have the smiley faces or not.
Right. I
A
think a
green
lot of
smiley
towns,
face versus a red frowning face.
Right.
right. Yeah.
anecdotally, you had residents, other towns started putting them up throughout the county or throughout the state, and those are definitely a newer model in the last couple of years. And that's what this is, one version of something like that. Ours did not do that before. The ones we bought
Yeah.
before.
Could we get some feedback from a town or two that has that style
Sure.
to see if what their data has shown?
Sure.
If they have it. I
Absolutely.
think maybe Pelham has done it, and I don't know if Montague has a couple.
I know Deerfield does.
Is it Deerfield? Okay.
Deerfield has them now. I know Greenfield's
I
put them
believe
up on
Pelham
some
has
of
a
them.
few, especially coming in off of 202
We can absolutely reach out.
as you get down into the school zone areas. Not school zone specific, but just speed signs.
No, on Sugarloaf Street when you come off the corner and head into town.
right.
in Deerfield.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I know I've passed some recently. I just can't picture where they were. Maybe Montague Center.
get a-
I feel like Montague Center.
Get a
has them.
smiley face or an angry face?
On which part of it? Probably wasn't smiling when I first saw it. I actually think maybe at the end of the straightaway in Montague Center on 47.
Okay.
As you're coming into Montague. Has one.
10,000 people at home want to know.
I don't know. Might have been that Connecticut temp tag. I don't know who that was.
You were going that fast, huh?
No. I mean, you get the frowny face at like 5 over on some of those. Come on now.
Yeah.
Some
no,
are very sensitive.
But you're right. Montague hasn't implemented them. I know they've added one to Industrial Boulevard on
Yeah.
going into Turner's. So absolutely, we can
Do they-
collect feedback.
Did you see anything about chicanes in the regs? You can't use stop signs and stuff like that, but can you use chicanes here?
Let me look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll look into it.
You know what they are, I would assume. Probably before I did, which is more recently. But weave that down down Moore Street, and people won't be going so fast, or not into things at least.
Right.
Not into things.
We can absolutely look into it. And anything else that people come up with, I think we want to.
There's probably not enough room on North to do it, but with the light.
No.
Not unless we go one way, but that's a future. So when do you think we'll see that back, by the way?
Which part back?
Green International. Complete streets.
I put
We
out
kind
a
of
request to
have it
them
on here, but
about a week and a half ago.
Yep.
I know they were on vacation, just getting back. The comment period ended, I want to say June 15th or the week of June 15th.
okay.
So they've had it for about 2 weeks. And I let them know that we were looking to do a presentation this month.
Okay.
So hopefully I hear back this week.
So we should see that and hopefully for code data this month of July.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And I've reminded them that the MassDOT hadn't released their schedule yet. They released it about a month ago, and that deadline is August 7th. So
Okay. enough feedback for now. We'll
This
Bring
is
out
very
a
helpful,
future
so
one.
thank you.
Oh, thanks for bringing all the data. Review and issuance of the 2026 state primary election warrant, September 1, 2026.
And that's right next to you.
I'll make a motion that we approve the warrant for the 2026 state primary as presented for Precinct 1 for Tuesday, first day of September 2026, between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Review and potential vote on appointments for Historical Commission and Cemetery Commission. Any questions or concerns with either candidate?
I'm just trying to get to it.
Yeah,
Section
11.
on the same thing.
Page 30 or 29,
Yeah.
28?
I had, turned out I wasn't even on the right tab.
Is that
There's
a
too many.
supplemental document?
That's my fault. I apologize.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll make a motion to appoint Jody Chaplin as a member of the Cemetery Commission for a term beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2029.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to appoint Catherine Glennon as a member of the Historical Commission for a term beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30, 2029.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Review and potential appointment of an interim treasurer. So given the vote and authorization to continue, or to go ahead and appoint our next treasurer, the current treasurer's term ends in the day tomorrow.
Correct.
And so I asked Brian to work with the team on interim solution in that time. And you spoke with the assistant treasurer,
Correct.
and she was willing to take on that role
Correct.
in the interim.
Correct.
I think that would move as part of the standard interim offer. That's what you proposed in here for the temporary wage adjustment. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Any of those meet the requirement of that's in the policy, correct? There's a minimum requirement, isn't there? In the shift?
Yes, let me pull that back up.
Okay. Just that the rate has to be at a minimum of a certain amount above what the current rate is.
Okay.
By policy, I believe.
Yep.
I just want to make sure we're meeting
Okay.
that. While he's looking that up, this is a tentative timeline. We can always extend it as long as she's willing to as well. Do we feel like that's the right timeline for now? Screening has
Ending August
started, but
31st,
isn't.
2026. And this is,
So it's basically 2 months. The screening committee started meeting, right?
Correct.
So
I think that might be okay.
Yeah.
Um,
it'll get us started, and if we have to adjust, we have time.
right.
Okay.
We have 2 interviews coming up this Thursday
Okay.
for 2 candidates. And
Okay. So we might have something to the board in the
Yeah.
in July or by the end of, and can okay, makes sense. What is the 30-day waiting period? You reference it, but not. What is that in
We could
reference.
look at it when an employee is temporarily assigned to perform duties of a position in a class with a higher pay range for 30 or more consecutive days.
Oh. But that's. It doesn't
she
kick
follow
in until
that?
then. Are you saying it doesn't? The change doesn't happen until then?
That's how we've interpreted it.
Oh, I thought you just weren't eligible for it until you've actually done it that long.
Right, which is why I'm saying,
But I thought it was eligible retro. It's not eligible from the first day you've started doing it. It's only eligible on the 31st day. Okay, I thought you had to serve the 30 to get paid for the 30 plus. All right.
How long has she been doing it?
I was going to say,
she hasn't been doing it, but she's definitely
well,
taken
let's
on
be
a sig-
fair. She's done a
she's-
majority
yeah.
of the work for that office.
A significant amount of work over the last 3 months. And I would argue that that easily satisfies that requirement.
Yeah, I would as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I wouldn't see any reason for a waiting period.
I agree.
Did you see if those numbers meet the requirement at a minimum?
Sorry. So it's not, you're thinking about the promotion.
It doesn't apply to that?
No.
Okay. Never mind then.
Everything I gave you is the section for temporary reassignment.
Got it.
Well, I was going to say, if we're being honest, and she has already stepped up before we've officially asked her, and she's agreed to step up.
Absolutely.
I don't see why we wouldn't demonstrate our appreciation for the continued effort and go more towards the latter end of those suggestions.
I agree as well.
Okay. I'll make a motion to appoint Jean Fountain as interim treasurer for a term beginning July 1, 2026 and ending August 31, 2026 at a rate of $38.42 per hour, which is grade F, step 3 on the general government compensation schedule.
Second.
So you might as well move it forward. I don't think there's any more discussion, right? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Please thank her for us as well.
I will communicate to her. Thank you.
Review and vote on a Hawkers and Peddlers permit application. Lilo's Ice Cream?
Yeah.
Hawkers and Peddlers.
You have not had one of these. in
Not
my
that
time
I have
here.
ever heard of.
I say, is
Before.
this an actual ice cream truck?
So the
that's
ice
gonna-
cream
like
truck
a
is going
ding dong
to-
cart?
Does it play music?
Does it?
Is that a
don't
requirement of the
recall.
permit?
It isn't, but
I
you
was
can
just
ask.
gonna say.
I think
We
we,
can ask.
at least within the allowed hours.
Yes. You can certainly ask.
Oh my God, that's a throwback. I haven't thought about I haven't heard one.
I haven't heard one in
Oh,
decades.
yeah.
They seem very excited
Last
about
century, for
starting
sure.
in the county, but being from Irving, they also were excited to be here. So
Oh. Okay.
we've done the necessary background checks through the police department, and
Board of Health's all set.
Board of Health is all set. And in this situation, because they're incorporated with the state, the town clerk's office doesn't have to register them. So.
Is anybody not excited about this?
It sounds like they're committed to being around here sometimes with it too,
Yes.
even if they're out in the county. So that's good.
Yes.
Sure, there will be some very happy folks, and not just the children.
Correct.
Do they take Apple Pay, or do we have to get more change?
I think everything rounds up to whole dollars now, right? I mean, no pennies, no. Inflation. Any concerns?
Just if you're ready to entertain
I
a
am ready.
motion,
If
I will
you
go
are,
over it.
go for it.
Motion to issue a Hawkers, Peddlers, and Transient vendor permit to Lilo's Ice Cream for a term beginning June 29, 2026 and ending December 31, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Did I skip anything that I didn't come back to yet?
No, just warrant.
It is warrant.
All right, no warrants, all I got left. And executive, all right. I'll make a motion to approve the 27th accounts payable warrant for fiscal year 2026 in the aggregate amount of $687,981.48 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And there should also be the payroll warrant next to you.
Yep, that's what I was just thinking. It's not in here, but I have it right here, right? And then I'll make a motion that we approve the 26th payroll warrant of fiscal 26. Sorry, 27th. Yeah.
I know.
In the aggregate amount of $210,315.84.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion that we approve the 26th payroll benefits warrant in the aggregate amount of $32,459.57.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
With that, make a motion that we move into executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining if an open meeting will have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body and the chair so declares, which I do so declare. American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local 1725. Immediately following, move into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel and contract negotiations with non-union personnel regarding the fire chief. Immediately following, move into executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel and contract negotiations with non-union personnel regarding the chief of police. And immediately following, move into executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel and contract negotiations with non-union personnel regarding the town administrator. We will not return to regular session. Is there a second?
So moved.
Brian, will you call the roll? All those in favor?
Last time, Selectman Loin,
Aye.
Chairman Smith,
Aye.
Selectman Benbury.
Aye.
Not the last time he's got to do it. Oh, it is. That's right. I was thinking tomorrow. I can't get past not tomorrow. We'll savor that moment, sir. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Lloyd, for joining us up here for the last 3 years, and wish you well, and look forward to seeing you around town in whatever capacity you are in.
Thank you very much. I'll see you from the front row.
I'm sure you'll be out there still serving the town well in whatever capacity.